Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Friday, January 4th. Today's question from a listener. And remember, you can ask a question that you would like me to include on air and online. And you may do so by emailing me, brianmudd@clearchannel.com. Either a question or a topic you'd like me to cover. Today's topic and question pertains to the one tax increase we did all receive as of January 1st. The tax increase on Social Security taxes. This is something that hits every person who works. So just how much will it end up costing you? Well, I know in the grand scheme of numbers, this one seems confusing, but it'll actually be one of the easiest to figure out in terms of what it really means to you. It was a 2% increase on Social Security taxes from a rate of 4.2% to a rate of 6.2%. So all of the government wrangling and the numbers you hear out there notwithstanding, what it really means to you is $200 per every 10,000 gross that you earn. So the average person, for example, in this country earns $41,000 per year. That means for the average person, they will be paying just over $800 more per year in taxes. You make $50,000, you're obviously paying $1,000 more in Social Security taxes this year than you did last. So it's certainly not an insignificant amount of money, but easy enough for you to be able to figure out exactly how much less you will be earning. All right, here's another one that's financial in nature for you. Why you shouldn't take record low interest rates for granted. You might have heard something about the Federal Reserve and minutes and some kind of thing yesterday, and what does it all mean? All right, here's what's going on. First off, it looks like Tim Geithner's gone at the end of January, the Treasury Secretary. Ben Bernanke, Federal Reserve Chairman, has said that he intends to leave at the end of this year, so before we really get going in 2014. And you have a bunch of dissenters in the ranks, the Federal Reserve governors. I don't want to make this too difficult, but you've got 8 Federal Reserve governors that cover different regions of the country. You have Tim Geithner, and you have Ben Bernanke. And Ben Bernanke in the Fed is where a lot of this takes place, but Geithner has influence from the Treasury as well. Bottom line here is, you've got changing faces that could end up impacting the way that business has been done in Washington, but you also could see increased pressure being put on from the ground level of these Federal Reserve regions, where they are worried about the Federal Reserve and this record low interest rate policy, where they don't effectively charge banks anything for interest, and they are engaged in printing money. The most common way they do that is by buying back government debt in the mortgage market. So all of this results in you being able to pay record low interest rates right now. It's why we have mortgage rates at 3.5% or lower on a 30-year fixed. It's why you can go out there and get an auto loan oftentimes, even on a used car, for something around 4 to 5%, where that usually is up around 8 to 9%. And remember that the average 30-year fixed mortgage historically has gone out the door at about 8%. See, we've been lulled into thinking that these rates are going to last forever, and the Federal Reserve most recently has been indicating that they were going to stay with this policy through 2013. Heck, really, until we saw unemployment, at a much lower rate than it is now and probably would be this year. But if people that set policy are changing and people that are in place are starting to change their mind, interest rates could go higher. And if they go higher, things could change quickly, and that could mean much higher interest rates. So here's what I'm telling you. Don't plan forever on these record low interest rates. If you are setting a plan during the course of 2013 to finance big items, either a home or an auto loan, make your plans and try to solidify a timeline and then hold to it, because there's a very strong chance, especially if the economy recovers in a better way, that we could see higher interest rates in 2014, if not before then. There is a site, there is a research project that the Wall Street Journal did that studied the top visited websites and how they compromise your identity. On my physical cheat sheet, it will I'll have information that you can look at from the Wall Street Journal's report. It will show what it compromises: your location, potentially your name, your username. Different pieces of information you might not want shared openly on the internet that could lead to you being compromised. Here's one of the irony of ironies. You know who the 100th biggest offender is online? None other than the Wall Street Journal, who conducted the research. But yeah, you got sites like Yahoo, Google, YouTube, all represented there. And if you want to see exactly what's being compromised, check out the physical cheat sheet. I've got plenty more there as well on the cheat sheet, and I'll leave it there for now. So you check out the physical one, enjoy your weekend, and we shall see you on Monday.